And we'll see. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I even have the bandwidth to be able to stream. Yeah, we're dropping mad frames. Uh-oh. So we are technically back, but I don't have that. My bandwidth is way too low. Yeah, I can't stream this on a phone. Okay. So I don't know if y'all can even hear us right now. I don't think you can, but we're going to come back as soon as we can. Maybe we've stabilized a little bit, actually. I see my frames leveling out, so maybe we're back. Sorry about this, Phil, but yeah, our internet dropped for the whole building. So not much I can do about that one.
It's all good. It's what happens with live streaming.
Exactly. This is how it goes. So I'm just refreshing, making sure we are actually live. Okay. So I think we're back. I think we're good. Sorry about that, folks. But like I said, not much we could do. Sometimes that's just how it goes. So, all right. So where were we when we got interrupted? I've completely lost my place. Do you remember what did I ask you last?
I think I was talking about connected plots.
Oh, yes, the estates. Okay, so yeah, let's start over on that one, as I'm not sure where I lost you. We'll do our best. I see that you're lagging a little bit, so we're going to push through this as best we can on the hotspot, folks. I'm just going to toggle my recording, and at least I'll have a video here. So, okay, welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. Phil, the question we were at, estates. Multiple plots connected together. How are we feeling here? The last thing I heard you say, I think, was we don't have huge plans for, and then we lost you. So...
Yeah. So we don't have plans for plots that span multiple, structures that span multiple plots. But we are looking to have certain structures that are exclusive to plots that, have adjacently owned plots. So, potentially if you have, a plot that is surrounded by, four other plots in certain configurations, you can unlock a certain structure. For that plot. And so that's how we're looking at kind of connected plots, and they're have some special, advantages. That'll be a future feature that we figure out together with the community.
Cool. So again, folks, we lost internet, so we are on our backup solution here, which is a hotspot, and that's why Phil's lagging a little bit. I do apologize, but we'll try to cruise through the rest of this just to wrap things up here. Again, apologies. So how do I enjoy land with my friends? I know we talked about the communication part, but will there be any kind of interactive, like can I do stuff with my guild in land? Like if I bought a plot next to one of my friends, is there any way that we can share resources or communicate or play together or work together or collaborate in any capacity?
Yeah, I mean, initially in the alpha, there will be players. Players can trade resources with each other in the auction house, and in the future, we'll obviously look to add more multiplayer and metaverse type features, as mentioned before. But yeah, kind of trading through the auction house will be kind of the big multiplayer interaction initially.
Okay. And can you trade without the auction house? Like if my neighbor and I wanted to trade resources, can we do that without having to use the auction house? Or does it all go through the auction house? I guess is kind of my question.
I believe that it will all have to go through the auction house currently.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood. So land items and effects, will they apply to single plots or will they apply to all of my plots? Like if I only have one item, like one mystic item, do I put that on my estate or does it only exist on one individual isolated plot?
Yeah, I think it'll depend on the item and their effect, but generally they'll apply to single plots. But as we figure out those updated, effects and all that, we'll have to look into what makes the most sense.
Understood. Heard a lot of speculation that like road is the travel route, so being like a corner plot or something where you have easy access to the road. Is there value there? Is there truth to that? Should people be excited about their proximity to roads?
Yeah, I mean, roads will be beneficial in allowing for trading to be more efficient initially. And obviously in the future, when you control your avatar Axie, roads will be beneficial to just getting places faster. And the additional speed boost is still TBD, but it'll be significantly faster with roads.
Gotcha. Okay. How about Genesis plots? They are super, super rare. They're the ones that are that beachfront property right next to Luna's Landing. I believe they're the black plots if you look at the Luna map. Anything that you can share about Genesis plots? Do they have anything special? Obviously, they're the highest tier of earnings and yield, but is there any additional utility for those high-level Genesis plot holders? Several of them in Twitch chat right now, my friend, so be careful.
Yeah, I mean, actually, not too much to say about that, other than yeah, we are looking at potential exclusive content available around Genesis plots, and yeah, different types of features and abilities that Genesis plots will have. But yeah, that's all for that for now.
And this is maybe a weird one, but will players have to like walk across Genesis plots to get to Luna's Landing? I kind of assume that there's roads that kind of break it up, so you could, in theory, get to Luna's Landing without walking across somebody's beachfront property. But like, should Genesis plots be expecting like a lot of foot traffic, I guess is maybe a way to say it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, around the plots, definitely. If people want to get to Luna's Landing with their avatar Axies, then they'll have to walk, past a lot of different types of plots. And yeah, Genesis will be the one that everyone will have to really go through to get to places like Luna's Landing.
I like that. Flying Falcon already has a no trespassing sign set up on their beachfront. Very good. Very good. Nobody's going to be touching our fish. Also, that does remind me, like, any thoughts about the river? Like, is there going to be fishing? Are there going to be any kind of like boats? Like, now that we have that Ronin helicopter in there, I just keep thinking about what are all the other modes of transportation rather that we'll have in Lunasia? Like, when can I get my like Axie yacht?
Yeah, not yet, but potentially in the future. I would say for all the different types of vehicles we can add in.
Yeah. I guess there's a lot of a high ceiling there in terms of different transports and things that we could add in that way. What about plot management? Because there are some landholders that have like 300 Savannah plots or something, right? If you're that person, what do you do right now? Like, will you be able to functionally play on 300 plots? And if not, then like, what's the recommendation if you're a big estate holder right now?
Yeah, so it'll be tough for one person to manage too many plots in the alpha, especially as there's a lot of gameplay and coordination involved with managing them. And kind of I mentioned we'll be looking to create in-game systems in the future that allow for players to lease out their land or get others to help manage it. But in the meantime, players can also use the unofficial methods to lend and share their land NFTs, but obviously they have to do so at their own risk and everything involved in that. But yeah, with the initial alpha, it will be difficult for people to literally play the game on that many plots at once. It's a full gameplay per plot.
Yeah. And do we have plans to build that out a little bit more so that land could be a little more, like, let's call it scholarship friendly or even just guild friendly? Like, I could see a lot of guilds where you have individual plot owners that want to start to come together and congregate. Are we thinking about building some scholarship-like tools for land, or is it still too far away to really say clearly?
Yeah, it's a bit too far away to say still. I would say definitely as we think of, the whole contracting or leasing or system, guilds is going to be a big part of that discussion.
What about diagonally connected plots? Does that count as an estate, or do they have to be touching each other? I guess since we mentioned earlier that like estates aren't a huge, there aren't these massive structures yet, that maybe it doesn't matter so much, but are diagonally connected plots actually connected? Maybe that's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's TBD.
Okay.
I think there could be different configurations that potentially give different exclusive.
Okay.
So maybe diagonal has certain structures. Maybe if you have a big long line, you get a certain structure. Yeah, all of that we haven't decided.
Yeah. Okay. So some potential there for sure. Will there be any events that will be played like once per a period of time, or like time limited events, or like a chimera invasion or something? Will there be like real time sense of urgency? Like, okay, you got to log in the next 48 hours to help us fight, insert event here or call to action here. Will there be moments that rally everyone in Lunasia to start fighting Chimera together or working towards shared objectives?
Yeah, probably in the future. I think live operations and events and all that is pretty fundamental to games, and even for Origin, we want to do more of that, and Land definitely we will want to do more as well.
Gotcha. And then what about like collectible Axies? Mystics, Origins, Japanese, Christmas. Do they have any special place in Land? I think people have been waiting for some sort of a utility for Origins specifically. I get that question a lot. I think people expect Mystics will do special stuff over time, but will Origins do anything specific in Land?
TBD.
Okay.
I think, yeah, if people have ideas, throw them my way. But we haven't decided on any particular kind of special things for Mystics and Origins yet.
Okay.
And all the other, collectible types of Axies.
All right, community, that's a call. We need a brainstorm here. Very curious, because I'm excited about that. I actually do think Origins need a little bit of love. I think in the lore, like Origin Axies are so cool in this concept of like, hey, we were the Axies that created the rest of the Axies. I don't know what it is, but they need something. At the very least, like a little badge. At the very least, give me a sticker, Phil. I just want a sticker.
Yeah.
I just want to be proud to have my Origin.
Yeah, like sparkles, glowing,
Yeah.
just cool stuff like that. But also, yeah, on the utility side, could be some things too. Yeah, maybe, Mystics can find a special Mystic resource. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, even Origins, something like that. They can dig for some hidden thing, or there's a lot that we can build on that. So, all right, get your creative hats on there, community, and send us your best ideas. All right, I think we're getting towards the end. At least this was most of the questions that I had. The last really big one: what about the remaining plots that are still yet to be sold? We've only sold 25%, the top left quadrant. So 3/4 of Lunasia still hasn't been available for market. It's just sitting there waiting. Any thoughts when we might release that? How we might release that? Anything around that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for the remaining plots, I think a big thing for us is, we want to get something out for the people with the existing plots first. And so I would say after we've made progress on getting things out and stabilizing kind of the main base game, that's when maybe we would consider selling the other plots while, people will have a better understanding of what Land is as well at that time. So yeah, we'll probably hold off on Land sales until then.
Okay. I think that makes sense. We need to know what we're selling in more detail at this point. The stakes are too high. Phil, anything that I missed? Anything else that you want to throw out there, or maybe questions that you've observed? I'm sure that your social media gets all sorts of feedback and updates constantly. Anything that I missed here? I really appreciate your candor. I really appreciate the multiple moments here you've just said, TBD. I don't know yet. We haven't really figured that out, and we will, and we're going to take your feedback to heart, but a lot of this is still being updated in real time. So I'm sure for some people, they'd love more detailed answers, but we can't give you data that we don't have. If we still haven't locked in what the plan is, then it's still on the drawing board, and there's a lot of different ways it could go. So this was super dense, a ton of great information here, but anything else we need to share with the people?
Yeah, no, nothing in particular. I tried to help us compile a lot of these questions from everything people have been putting out there. Yeah, I definitely would like to give definite answers for everything. It's unfortunate that a lot of my answers have been TBD, and let us know like what do you think. But yeah, I think we definitely put out a lot of very substantial stuff that we're working on around now as well. And so that'll help kind of set a foundation for what people can expect in the coming year for the things we're building. Yeah, I'm excited to just work with the community to talk more about this and figure it out together. Everything's, a lot of things are still up for change. So obviously nothing's set in stone. And yeah, my goal moving forward is just to be transparent, collaborative with everyone. Some of this communication was missing in the past, but I'm here now. And yeah, we're gonna do this together and make it happen. So
I love that. I take it step by step, make it much more collaborative, a little bit more iterative, and like we said before, we learned a lot from that announcement of, hey guys, land's going to be 3D. We definitely should have done that in a more iterative, step by step process where we talked to the community, heard your feedback, and then worked that into the decision. So we've really tried hard to learn from our mistakes in the past, build a process around those mistakes to prevent them from happening again, and building a process that can be iterated on to get us to that sweet spot where we meet expectations, all of our players and trainers are happy, and we have a great, sustainable, and fun game, a fun ecosystem. That's really what we want to build here. So we're going to try to build it in plain sight as much as possible and integrate your feedback and communicate as much as we can. We have a lot of great Twitter spaces coming up this week and in the future. This won't be the last time you hear about Land before the release. This was really just the beginning to get everybody primed and caught up of what Phil's been working on, what the most recent priorities are, and also just to prompt y'all for some more feedback, some more ideas. I think we left this with a lot of spots of, hey, this is an area that it hasn't been figured out, so maybe you've got the idea that is going to be the golden ticket that gets brought into the game. So really excited to hear from all of our trainers, all of our players, all of our fans, and see all the amazing feedback we get from this.
Yeah, totally. I think we have a great direction, once we've actually gotten to play around with some demos of the latest direction of the gameplay, and it's looking good, it's moving. But this stuff does take time, so appreciate everyone's patience, but we're trying to make the best and most unique, really NFT land game out there, so it's hard.
Time is the one true resource. Not many ways to manipulate that one, and no way to get it back. So that's the real resource we all have to play around. Phil, this was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on, answering all of these tough questions the best you could, being honest and transparent. I really appreciate it. I know the community really appreciates it. Good luck with your social media feed coming up the next few days, but thank you again. This was really a pleasure, and I'm sure it won't be the last time we see you here as well. You better be careful. If you keep nailing it like this, we're going to keep bringing you out on camera in front of the community. So look out.
I mean, as long as people want it, and it's helpful, let's do it.
Perfect. All right, folks. Well, you know where to find us. Thank you so much for watching this Axie Land Q&A stream, Q2 2022. Still a lot in the pipeline, still a lot that can change. Again, apologies for the small technical hiccup. We will take these two VODs, merge them together, and then get this uploaded on YouTube. So if you joined us late, there will be a spot for you to watch the VOD. Of course, you can always check the Twitch VODs as well. They should be uploaded the moment we end the stream here. So we're going to leave you to it. Have a great day in Lunacia. Enjoy playing Origin. Continue battling your hearts out. Be kind to yourselves and be kind to each other, because we will see you on the next broadcast.
All right.